Hi everyone, this is Frank DeRose, bass instructor at the School of Blues. Today, we're going to learn Walking the Bass Level 2, where we're going to learn root, third, fifth, and sixth. We're going to use those four notes to create every arpeggio to create the complete bass part. So let me play an example of that. When you hear it, it sounds like we're climbing up the stairs. 4 notes in a row, up, 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 up. Now, compared to the previous video, Walking the Bass Level 1, where we learned root, third, fifth, and third, we kind of go up the stairs, and then we go back, and up and back. And let me play that sound for you. Hear that going backwards? Up and down. Root, third, fifth, and sixth again. So I am going to take the 3 positions from the previous video, where we learned root, third, fifth, and third, and I'm going to convert them to root, third, fifth, and sixth for this level 2 lesson. There'll be a companion video to this one where I'm going to take the elements from these 3 positions for E, and I'm going to combine them into one bass pattern to give you an example of how you use these elements as building blocks to create bass parts that seem to evolve or be spontaneous. Now, it's important to understand as we go forward what the other instruments play, such as the guitar, the piano, because we play single notes. Our single notes should be the chord tones from what the guitar or the keyboard are playing. So now let me grab that Fender guitar over here. And this is the sound that the guitar does through the whole song. That sound of pedaling. But he's actually playing 2 notes at once. And that's the first strum, the first beat, and the second beat, then the third beat. So the 2 notes that change are the 5th and 6th notes of the scale. We are playing the 5th and 6th notes of the scale. But in roots music, blues music, country music, bluegrass, 50s rock and roll, soul tunes, it's our job to play that root note on the first beat. So our first note is E. The guitar's playing E and B at the same time. Now the second beat of the guitar is going up and playing the 6th. So now we're going to play the third, which is a harmony note to that 6th. Then the guitar's going back and strumming that E and B, and we're going to play the B, which is the 5 at that point. And then on the 4th and final beat of that pattern, the guitar is playing that 6th note, and we're playing that 6th note. So our first 2 notes are harmonies. Our last 2 notes in our 4-note arpeggio become the prime notes that the guitar is playing. So with all that said, let me get set up so we can learn root, third, fifth, and sixth, Walking the Bass, to the School of the Blues lesson series, Traveling Man Blues, which can be found in my book, Blues Bass Play-Along Trax. It's an original composition done by us instructors at the School of Blues for our lesson series books. So with that said, I'll get set up and be right back. Don't go nowhere. Let's get started. First, in the details below this video, there's a link to the tab. I want you to open it up, and I'm hoping many of you had seen the first video where we did root, third, fifth, and third, these two sheets of tabs are going to be very familiar. But a quick reminder, this is a blues in the key of E with a quick change and a standard turnaround, and it starts from the 5. We're going to play the root, third, fifth, and sixth arpeggio, every measure except the 2 turnaround measures, which are measures 11 and 12. So let's learn this root, third, fifth, and sixth together. It's an arpeggio that we play across 3 strings. Root, third, fifth, and third, we just needed 2 strings to do it. Now we need 3 strings to play this arpeggio and stay within a close, confined position. So let's try that together. Look at measure 1 on your tab. I'm pointing at my music stand right here. For the E, that's the one we're going to do. We're going to practice it together. So let's play it together a couple of times. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you have it. Root, third, fifth, and sixth. Now quickly, let's go to the 5th fret of the E string and we'll do the A arpeggio, which is the 2nd measure. Together, we'll do it a couple of times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Now, let's slide up 2 frets to the 7th fret and we'll do the B, which is the 5 chord. Let's do it together. You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. Now we've just done the fingering for all 3 chords in their positions. The only thing we haven't done is the turnaround, which we did in the last video. So let me get this player kicked off from the 5. We'll play 2 times through, including the turnarounds, root, third, fifth, and sixth. We be walking the bass. Here we go. Yeah. So root, third, fifth, and sixth, the first version. Let me get set up. We'll do the second version, utilizing the open E and open A notes. So I'll get set up and be right back. Version 2. We're going to use the low E note and as an open string, and we're going to use the A note open string as part of our arpeggios. So let's practice the E. So go to the first measure at the top of the page and let's do that fingering. And just as you saw me do, my hand barely moves, my fingers barely move, because I'm only using the first finger and my little finger. That natural feeling of my hand is the same feeling that when your hand hangs down, I just lift it up and raise it to the neck. And those two fingers play those notes. So let's do it together here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Let's try that E again. So we're playing the open string, the 4th fret of the E string, we're using our little finger. The 2nd fret of the A string, we're using our 1st finger. And then the 4th fret of the A string, we're using our little finger. Let me count it in again. We'll try it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Now let's move up to the A string. We'll do it there. Same fingering, same feeling. So let's try it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. Now the B. We're going to play that B right here off the 2nd fret of the A string. Our fingering is just like we did in version 1 on this video. It's just that we have a new starting place. 2nd fret of the A string with our middle finger. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah. And the last thing we'll do is we'll do the fingering in this new position for the turnaround, which is measure 11, which shows that we're starting right here on the 2nd fret of the D string. So we're doing 2nd fret, then open, then 4th fret of the A string, 3rd fret of the A string, 2nd fret of the A string. Let's do that together. Right from measure 11. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, now you got all the components. If you need to practice them, put the video on pause right here and practice those fingerings. Otherwise, I'm going to kick the player off and we're going to play 2 times through in this new position using these open strings. So here we go. Yeah. All right. Second version. Quick change blues in E. Very good. So now I want you to look over the third and final version, which is there at the bottom of page 2. And I'll reset up again, and we'll learn that last and final version of today's video. Now for the third and final version of today's lesson video. This version is very similar to the first version. The way we play the A chord, the way we play the B chord, the way we do the turnaround are all the same. The only difference is how we play the E arpeggio. How we walk the E is different. So we invert it, meaning that we start high and go low. In the first version, we started low and went high. Low to high, high to low. So let's practice that E arpeggio, the new one, 4 times, and then we'll play the song. To be successful and have the correct fingering, we start with our little finger at the 7th fret of the A string. That's the E note. The only 2 fingers we use are the little finger and the first finger. They both play 2 notes in this 4-note arpeggio. So little finger on the E, then first finger at the 4th fret of the E string. Little finger at the 7th fret of the E string, then the first finger at the 4th fret of the A string, and then back to the 7th fret of the A string for the E. So let's play that together 4 times. Little finger, 7th fret of the A string. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. Very good. Now, if you need to practice that fingering, pause the video here. Otherwise, I'm going to hit the play button, and we're going to play the blues using this new E arpeggio inverted, and we'll have accomplished learning 3 ways to play blues in E using root, 3rd, 5th, and 6th. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, a traveling man, baby, that's all I really know. Well, a traveling man, baby, that's all I really know. Well, I love to see new places everywhere I go. Well, I'm leaving my homestead, moving on down the line. Well, I'm leaving my homestead, moving on down the line. While I'm packing my suitcase, people, gonna catch a southbound ride. Yeah, tell me now.
Yeah. School of Blues All-Star Band, Kevin Coggins on the drums, John Garcia on the vocals and the guitar, doing our original lesson track for our series of music books. So there you have it, 3 ways to play a blues in E using root, 3rd, 5th, and 6th. For those of you that purchase the book and download all the music tracks, you get the benefit of getting the ending. 6 full progressions through, with the 6th progression having a blues ending. So you get to learn that by purchasing the book and getting the music track download. So I'll be right back with some final thoughts. That's a wrap. Today we learned 3 new ways to play a blues in E. Today we used the root, 3rd, 5th, and 6th notes of the scale. This is called level 2, walking the bass. In the previous video, walking the bass level 1, we used just the root, 3rd, 5th, and 3rd. And we learned 3 ways to do that arpeggio. Now we have 6 ways to play, and my hope is that you will learn to mix them together to come up with a bass part that sounds like it evolves and has some spontaneity to it, and yet you stay inside the requirement for the song. So until I see you again, which I believe is going to be Walking the Bass Level 2, Part 2, keep on thumping that bass. Bye for now.